have asked our Indian colleagues is to raise this with the Russians, put the pressure on the Russians so that they would also want peace, because this is not good for Europe, this war.
In resolving the Ukraine conflict?
Thank you. I think the convergence is what we both believe is in peace, and we don't want this war to happen. We want this war to end. I think nobody wants it more than the Ukrainians want this war to end. Now, what we had in our discussions with our Indian counterparts was also to really raise from their side with the Russians as well, that they would also want peace. Because right now, Ukrainians have agreed to unconditional ceasefire already a year ago. From the Russian side, we only see plays, games, and they are pretending to negotiate, but they are actually not negotiating. They are demanding their absolute maximum. They are also demanding the territories that they haven't even conquered militarily in 11 years. And this is not something that you can, build peace on. In order to have peace, you only need, you need at least two to want peace. You only need one to want war. And what we see currently, Russia bombing civilian infrastructure. In October, the number was 93%. I think now it's more. 93% of Russian targets during this war have been civilian targets. Schools, hospitals, apartment buildings, energy infrastructure, to cause as much pain to people as possible. Under international humanitarian law, this is forbidden. You can't target civilians. This is what they do, and this is what they have done while pretending to negotiate. They have increased their attacks. Why they are doing this, and I was explaining this to our Indian colleagues as well, why they are doing this is because they are not moving on the battlefield. Actually, they're losing really a lot of soldiers on the battlefield. So it's not moving anywhere, like they are not conquering territories there. What they want to do is to push Ukrainian people to surrender by causing as much pain. Here it's warm. There it's minus 20 degrees. Imagine you don't have electricity or energy in minus 20 degrees. It is unbearable. So what we have asked our Indian colleagues is to raise this with the Russians, put the pressure on the Russians so that they would also want peace, because this is not good for Europe, this war. This war is not good for southern countries because of everything what is coming to the trade with wheat, the everything that is deriving from there. And I think this is the convergence where we have with what we have with Indians. We both want peace. And sustainable peace, so that this war does not return, even if you have, peace agreement. But if it is not based on anything that can last, then you will just have more wars, and that is extremely bad. I think also deriving from this war is, the overall security theater. It's dangerous for everybody. So we see this in the same way, that this war has to stop. It is two big democracies, and I think we have to put this in the geopolitical context, what everybody sees in the news every day. I think when I go around the world, I see more and more countries want to build partnerships with Europe, because we are predictable, which is nowadays becoming a value. When we take a long time to negotiate deals, but when we do, then we stick to them. We actually, implement them. And that has become something that is of value. For the companies, if you have a constant threat of, tariffs in the air, then you don't really know what you have the next day, what you can really deal with. Now, when we get there finally, then we really keep our promises and keep our agreements. I think this is extremely important. Now, the geopolitical context is that we see multilateralism under constant strain or under heavy fire. We might even see that it doesn't exist anymore, so we need to build new partnerships with those countries that we share the same interests and really to try to find the way. And that is what the discussions has been about. Actually also building confidence in each other, listening to each other, because we can do a lot together on different fields, and we have mapped different fields when it comes to my competencies, security, defense, foreign policy, then, maritime security, very concrete thing where we have mutual interests, and then cybersecurity. Both we are encountering this. Also sharing information. We are entering into negotiations about that because, to make decisions, you have to be aware of the facts and intelligence that is there. Trade routes or supply chains that function, both of our interests. Clean energy, connectivity, there's a lot what we can do. But what we want this really to be is about, practical things and practical steps. We even talked with the ministers, is like, let's start with very concrete implementation things, because what it does, it builds trust. Yeah. So we start to trust each other, because if you don't know the other part, and then it's like, how is the work really playing out? But if you already see the way the other party is working, then you can also know what to expect, and then it's easier. So start with concrete deliverables, and there was a lot. So I think the feeling in the room is really genuine interest for building trade relations, but also other issues when it comes to geopolitical picture as well, because we see superpowers wanting to rewrite the multilateral order where everything is divided. We have seen that in the history before, and I don't think, coming from a small country, I can honestly say this is not in small countries and medium-sized countries' interest. Of course, India is not a small country, that's very clear, but still I think there is room for cooperation for the European Union with India also regarding foreign policy.
The issue about India's relationship with Russia is something on which we have spoken publicly on several occasions. There is a historical context for that. I don't think we have the time today to dilate on that. But these are two things that stand on their own and that go forward on their own. Insofar as Ukraine is concerned, yes, it was discussed between the leaders today. The European leaders shared their perspective, their concerns with regard to the ongoing conflict. And Prime Minister indicated to them that he had been in very close contact with leaders from both countries, from Russia as well as from Ukraine. We in India have always made our point of view very clear on this. We favor a negotiated solution between the parties most closely concerned with this conflict. The Prime Minister himself has played a role in this by advocating this to both leaders every time that he has met them. He has publicly stated that India is ready to do whatever is needed to be done in order to support the outcomes from such a negotiated solution, and that we are interested in seeing the earliest possible cessation of this conflict that has been going on for nearly 4 years now. So these are the main points of the discussion on Ukraine.